job seekers or job career aspirants, we support the group of people to find their job, to find what is the next step in their career. So it is not a paid service where we ask you to pay for money and all that. So this is not what it is about. It's about helping one another. And like Dr. Sangeet said some time ago in one of our other sessions, we don't expect this group to be bigger and sustain for 10 years and 12 years. We don't want that. We want everybody in the group to find what they're looking for and move on, and we can grow from job seekers to career professional help for each other and so on. So one thing in this group that I have found very peculiar is everybody is ready and on the toes to help one another, and everyone is available for one another when they need. So like the group says, it's together, we are in this journey together. And how we do it is about, we start by posting job ads in our groups in
Sister Sheikha, I think you're muted.
oh, okay. Okay. So we have over 700 people on Telegram, and we post jobs. So everybody has the privilege to go research and find job ads and post in there. And we have had a few success stories. And to reach those success stories, we began one step after the other. We began at the basic. We began on how to support, how to know whether you have the right CV, and we started about how to answer to your questions in an interview. We went on like that. So at the moment, I would like to talk about Mr. Vipin Banot. Um, it's a true inspiration for all the job seekers. He's been there with us from the day one. He was at that point a job seeker. He came out with every job advertisement he could get. He used to post numerous opportunities on LinkedIn or paper cuttings or whatever he would post in the group. And when he got a job recently, he actually came back and said, I've got a job. We were normally what people do is once I've got the job, then you're busy in your own life. You stop supporting, or you slow down rather. We haven't seen that with Vipin at all. Vipin continuously do that. Vipin take some time off to research on opportunities in all around the world. So because the Togetherness has got people from all over the world, the GCC, India, and the Indian Peninsula and all that. So people are here from Qatar, from all over the GCC, and Vipin does post positions, especially for India, a lot, because not many of us are doing that. So he picked up on that, and he does that for everybody. So he is a classic example of what togetherness means. So I would like to congratulate Vipin on continuing that energy and continuing that support. And we cannot thank you enough, Vipin, for that. So this is what we do. We know we've been having success stories like Vipin. We've been having people coming out and saying that, hey, I've got a job now, or I'm ready now, I'm going there now. So all people have also changed their idea of what their career should look like. People have gone to freelance. Some people have gone and become entrepreneurs. And this is where we support. If you don't know, we are not all 100% experts. We're all in this journey of learning together. So we support each other in finding information. And if I don't know something, I have the liberty to ask in the group, does anybody know anything about it? And this is how we support. So I once again welcome everybody, all the 22 people in this session now. And I'm expecting as time passes, we'll have more people joining in. And I just hope everybody here are already part of our group. If you aren't, please join us. We're on Telegram. And what we say is, even if you are currently working, please join us to support people who are at this time of challenge, who are struggling with something or the other. Please support them in finding a job, or whatever you know about, you see on LinkedIn, you see on Indeed, you hear from a friend. Please share, and maybe you might be the doorstep for the next person. So this is what we do in Togetherness. So to start with today's session, our first speaker of the day is Dr. Sangeet Ibrahim. So I welcome Sangeet Ka again. What do I say about him? He's an inspiration to many people, including me. And he is the captain of this group. This thought came from him. He initiated it, and actually he runs this, and it's very how would I say? He's very peculiar on continuing what we're doing. So thank you very much, Sangeetka, for keeping us on the roll all the time. So currently, Dr. Sangeet Ibrahim is the head of learning and development, the VP and head of learning and development with FAB, First Abu Dhabi Bank. Before which he's a kind, I remember him in first session where he said, if you Google Islamic banking and learning and development, hey, my name comes first. And I really love the way he projected that, saying that, hello, do some work, and then you are more recognized. So I welcome Sangeetka um, onto the session, and I think I will leave the room for you now.
Thank you, Sister Shekhar, for that soulful introduction. I'm so happy that you shone a light on Vipin. Now, Vipin is a role model. Many of us in the group at some point or the other were really looking out for jobs. Yeah, so that this is the time when you really want to know about job ads, know about CVs, know about interviews. So I think it's quite natural that you'll get involved in a group like that. But then Vipin, even after getting a cool job or a great job, continues to be with us and continues to support us with the same kind of momentum and energy. So, brother Vipin, you are the role model, and I hope and pray you'll inspire all of us to follow suit. Yeah. And of course, Seema is here with us. Seema would be speaking after me, a very accomplished psychologist. Somebody who's doing some great work back in India. So she'll be joining us as well today. Brothers and sisters, a very warm welcome once again. As Sister Shekha explained, we've done sessions on 8 years compliant CVs, how to get an interviews, how to structure your job search, how to use LinkedIn effectively. But this time, we want to focus as the year is coming to an end, and we thought we're going to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And after all this stress, all we get is a new strain. Yeah, so we'll have to probably live with this. This is the new normal. We're going to probably wear masks for another 5-6 years time and maintain social distancing. So let's try to find some meaning in all this, and let's try to make the most of the situation, however bad or good it is. So stress is the topic for today, and as we all know, job hunting could be very, very, very stressful. Yeah, now for me, I used to wake up at 3 o'clock and I lie, looking through the window and saying, "Oh my God, what's going to happen? I'm never going to get a job, and the whole family is going to fizzle out. And what about our dreams? And we'll be on the street." This is what you think, because when you're jutted out of certainty, and you feel that there are no options right in front of you, your mind really gets into a hyper imaginative mode and then comes up with every negative reason why you won't get a job. So this could be very stressful. It's like living under an overcast sky. You might be spending time with your family, eating food, job hunting, but you're always tense. What's going to happen? I'm not going to get a job. And I used to remember going to Lulu and watching people, at the cash counter servicing me and saying, "Boss, everyone has a job and I don't have one." So probably my brothers and sisters are going through such pain. So we'll really have to find a way to cope with it. Now, stress is not an enemy. We'll explain that in due course. I'll do that, and then Seema will come in, and she really said, "Sangeet, you shouldn't have put the name stress management, because we can't manage stress." Now, stress is a friend. Stress is a close ally. What we have to do is we shouldn't allow that ally to stop us from doing what we should be doing today. Now, guys, I'm not trying to paint a rosy picture. We had a benchmarking group where 11 of us had lost jobs in 2020. Nine of them got good jobs. Nine of them. So if you continue to do the right things, and when I say right things, keep applying on LinkedIn, keep visiting job sites, speak to people, keep tinkering around with your CV. You do the right things, you will get a good job. Okay, sooner rather than later. The average has been around 6.5 to 7 months. So for you, if it's taken a little longer, don't worry. It's just around the corner. Yeah, it is just around the corner, provided you do the right things. So stress should not stop you from doing those right things. So that's the mantra for the day. I'll have probably 25 to 30 minutes, and you'll have another smashing session from Seema. So with your permission, let me share the screen, and let me quickly take you through my agenda for the day. Guys, first thing that I want to explain to you is, when you're facing uncertainty, or for example, you lose your job, or you hear that you have an illness. Okay, I'm just drawing parallels from different domains. Yeah, naturally you get stressed. So you could be in one of these three buckets. So any person who is stressed could be in one of these three buckets. The first bucket is, the person is concerned, and you have to be concerned, right? You lose your job, you have to pay your monthly bills, you have to save, yeah, you have to be in control of your life. So it's okay to be concerned. So what does a concerned person think, and how does a concerned person think, and what does a concerned person do? If you're concerned, you will view the threat realistically. That means, yes, I've lost my job, the economy is bad, a lot of people have lost jobs, and people are getting jobs as well. Yeah, that's a realistic way to look at things. You will realistically assess your ability to cope. I'm qualified, I've got contacts, okay, and I have my right credentials, so sooner or later I'll get my job. You'll take positive action every single day, and you'll dwell on the positive aspects as well. Oh, today there are two job ads that meet that sort of meets my background, or oh, I got a good connection there, or somebody referred me to a friend. So there are positive things happening, and you look at past successes as well. This has happened to me before, so I'll definitely get a job. So this is a good place to be. Now, another place where you could slide into probably 5 or 6 times a day is a place called anxiety. Now, that's another bucket. Now, this is unhealthy. Okay. Now, if you're anxious, you will overestimate the threat, where you will think, oh, I'm never going to get a job. My EMIs and my credit cards are going to kill me. We're going to go hungry. And, so you overestimate the threat unrealistically, and you underestimate your ability to cope. Come on, man. You're looking for one job, not hundreds of jobs, right? So instead of saying I'll get it, you'll think, oh, I'm not going to get it. No, they don't want me. My accent, my nationality, my experiences is not going to work, and you keep seeking reassurance. Now that's a telltale sign. Will I get a job? Will I get a job? You keep asking other people, or you keep asking yourself, and you get into compulsive behavior. Healthy behavior is maybe spending 2 to 3 hours looking for jobs every day. Unhealthy behavior would be sitting in front of the PC, avoiding your food, and doing that kind of stuff. So this is, we call it, you're in the anxious domain, unhealthy. But then, unfortunately, some of us could get into the third most dangerous domain, which is depression. Now, I've seen people who have got into that mode while looking for jobs. When you're depressed, you think the future is hopeless. You're not thinking whether you'll get a job or not. You know for sure you won't get a job. You've decided, I'm not going to get a job. I'm helpless. Nobody's going to help me. You're going to dwell only on past failures. I applied to 100 positions, I didn't get any. And then you'll start withdrawing from others. I've seen that happening. You stop taking part in WhatsApp group activity. You don't speak to your relatives. This is extremely dangerous. And then you also start neglecting self care. I mean, most of us have done that when we are working at home. They start taking a shower, they stop eating properly, they start cutting their nails. If you see any of your friends getting into that space, they were active and quite engaged with you in conversation, and they stop, they withdraw, please sound an alarm bell. They're moving towards depression. Now, these are guys who won't even get up from bed, because they feel, khalas, there's no point to do so. Yeah. So if any one of you are in bucket three, I don't think anyone here would be in bucket three, because if you are in bucket three, you wouldn't have joined. Yeah. You wouldn't take any positive action because you've already decided, khalas, I'm not going to get a job. So this is where your friends and relatives. So this is extremely important. Why, guys, when you're hunting, when you're looking out for jobs, be a part of a community. Be a part of a community, of a WhatsApp group, of a social organization, so that when you withdraw, people will notice and people will come to your aid. It's extremely important because this could be nerve wracking, not getting a job for 7, 8, 9 months. Yeah. And always getting to hear negative stories. The economy is going down further. There's a new strain around the corner. So we need to be. So those of you who are probably shifting between 1 and 2, that's a healthy space to be. But if you're shifting between 2 and 3, you need to take professional help. Don't take this lightly. Come to us. We can support you. Okay, we can put you on to people who are certified and who are authorized to support you. Yeah. Now, guys, I want to reframe. Yeah. So let's look at stress. Let's look at why you have stress. Yeah. And then let's try to reframe the stress. A little bit of biology here, forgive me for that. If you can see the screen, that's your brain, and you can see a small, what's the color? Purple, I think. I call it quality street color. Purple, a small gland deep inside your brain. This gland is called the amygdala, or we can call it Amy. Okay. Now, Amy is there inside your brain for a reason. God has put it, or nature has put it there to protect you. Now, what is Amy's job? Amy's job is to always look around for danger. Amy's job is to protect you. Okay. So if you hear a loud sound, your Amy gets active. If a car comes and swerves towards you, your Amy gets active. When your boss speaks to you in a menacing manner, your Amy gets active. Okay. Because it anticipates trouble. Now, when the Amy gets active, two things happen. One is it stops blood flow into your thinking brain, your prefrontal cortex, which is your thinking logical brain. So that's why when you're stressed, you can't think straight. You get all these weird kind of thoughts. You can't reason with yourself because your thinking brain is switched off. And your body gets ready for either fight, flight, or freeze. I mean, I don't want to get into those because your heart starts beating faster, your blood goes into your extremities, and you have a lot of cortisol running in your blood, which if it continues for a long time, it's bad for you because a lot of cortisol and adrenaline in your blood is bad. But you have to understand the reason why it is there is to protect you. Our great grandfather living in the forest, he's walking and suddenly he sees a lion. This is not the time to be logical, to think, is this lion hungry, is this lion friendly, or is this lion, from the way, the angle he's looking at me, is he going to spring? This is the time to run, right? So that is why your thinking brain is switched off and you immediately get into action mode. Since the time we've lost our job, most of us have been in this mode. So you can't think properly and you're on that hyper mode, which could really, really affect your health. So the first thing you need to understand is that feeling of stress that you have. I'm not going to get a job. I'm going to, go broke. My children are going to starve. Please understand that that is coming from a nice place. It is coming from your amygdala. And the job of the amygdala is to protect you so that you will keep job hunting, so that you'll keep applying, because that fear will prompt you to act. So next time you get stressed, don't consider that stress as a villain. Consider that stress as a bodyguard. How should a bodyguard be? Think of a bodyguard, a typical bodyguard. He'll be hyperactive, right? He'll be very negative. A bodyguard cannot be optimistic, right? A bodyguard has to anticipate that there's a villain on the other side. And the moment the bodyguard senses trouble, what will he do? He'll come and he'll pull you down and he'll cover you. He'll stop you from doing. You've seen that in movies, right? This is what the amygdala does. What we need to do is tell the amygdala, Habibi, you're my friend. I love you. Yeah, you're doing this for me. I know. But then please, can you please move out? Because I have to apply for jobs. I have to attend interviews. I have to do what I have to do to get what I want. So this should be your connection with stress. Instead, you know what we do? We try engaging with stress big time. So 3 o'clock when you get up and you start feeling stressed and your heart starts beating, you say, oh, this, how do I get rid of this? It's not the stress that's bothering you more. You anticipate the stress, you dread the stress, you resent the stress. Why am I stressed? As if this stress is a big villain. It is not. The job of our Amy and our stress is to get you to act. So instead, what you try to do is you try to get rid of stress. So all those of you who are attending this training today to think, oh, we are going to learn how to kick our stress off our lives. Let me tell you the bad news: your stress is going to stay. Once you get a job, it might abate, but next time you have a health issue, God forbid, it's going to come back again. It's a protective mechanism. And please understand this, guys. I used to be a big fan of trying to kick stress out. Okay, so I did NLP, I did cognitive behavior therapy. Finally, at the age of 45, wisdom stuck when I really started facing a problem. Yeah, like Gautam Buddha, I got enlightened and I understood that you cannot do away with stress. The more you try to eliminate stress, the more it comes back to you. That's the way the thing works. If you are not ready to accept something, it'll come back to you. So instead, what do we need to learn is to say, Habibi, thank you. You're my bodyguard. I love you for doing what you're doing. Accept your stress and then start focusing on what you have to do. What you have to do. When you start doing that, it's like a guy who's screaming at you. Imagine you're coming down the building and there's a guy screaming at you, Sangeet, you are a loser, you cheated me, you're bad, and he demeans my nationality and my religion. First 2 days, I get angry and I start engaging with him, right? And then I get all stressed out. Slowly, slowly, if I stop listening, I don't want him to go. I don't want him to go. Let him be there. Okay, let him be there. It's a free world. But I won't let him affect me because I have things to do, places to go. I have dreams to achieve. I have goals to achieve. I have great things to do. This should be your relationship with that nagging feeling and that pounding heart and that feeling saying that, yeah, let it be. There are two great analogies, guys, which I hope if you try really thinking of it that way, it'll change your life forever. Imagine that you are a bus driver. Okay, your job is driving a bus, Dubai Sharjah route. Yeah, your job is to drive a bus. You've got passengers coming in from different stops and passengers going out. Now imagine if some of these passengers, now these passengers are your thoughts. As a driver, you're leading your life. Now imagine some of these passengers get into the bus and start abusing you, your nationality, start abusing you, start talking bad things about you, and you stop the bus, and then you turn back and you start engaging with them. You're shouting and screaming, trying to throw them out of the bus. You don't have to, because after a while these guys will get out of the bus themselves. That's how your thoughts are. Your thoughts don't stay running right in your mind forever. The only thing you need to do is stop engaging with them. Let them talk, let them say whatever they want. This is the only way to reduce the punch of those negative thoughts. Another personal example that I really came across is, imagine you're in a swimming pool and a ball comes to you, a big ball comes to you, and you don't want the ball next to you, so you're holding the ball down, you're pushing the ball down. What do you think will happen? The ball will bounce back up, right? You push the ball down, the ball bounces back up. This is exactly what happens when you try to stop your thoughts. Let me stop my negative thoughts. No, instead you leave the ball and then you do what you want to do, and after a while, with the ripples, the ball will gently float to another side of the pool. This should be the way we handle stress. Do not try to kill your stress. It's your friend. He really wants to do you a great service. He wants to make sure that you do what you're supposed to do. Yeah. So our objective should never be to kill stress. Our objective is to live with stress, to have those thoughts, to have those pounding thoughts. Okay. So now let's explain some nice techniques that will work to help you do that. First thing, guys, you need to understand is that when you're stressed, Sister Sheikha, if I'm getting overexcited and running past the time limit, do let me know. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing that you need to do is when you get stressed, your neocortex will not work. Your thinking brain does not work, right? We already discussed that. So you start getting thinking errors. Thinking errors are absurd thoughts which you think are real. First thinking error is predicting the future. The economy will never get better. I will never get a job. My kind of jobs are not in it. This is predicting the future. God has not given you the ability to predict the future. Okay, so you shouldn't predict the future. Second is catastrophizing. Catastrophizing, a good example is I used to do that. When my son goes for tuitions, he used to take the public bus. And if he's late by 15 minutes and he doesn't answer the phone, what do I think? I'm a behavioral psychologist. Yeah? And what do I think? He has been kidnapped and, or God forbid, he has had an accident. You start thinking gory, the worst things that could happen. Yeah, this is also something that your mind does when you're stressed. So I'll never get a job, we'll be kicked out of our homes, I'll be, my kids will have to get out from school, I'll have to travel back home. This is over catastrophizing, or I call it tsunamizing. It's a gentle wave, but don't consider that as a tsunami. And the third thinking error that you do is you filter out the positive. Today, three contacts accepted your LinkedIn request. Or when you log into indeed.com, there are 3 jobs that suit your profile. But at the end of the day, you don't think about that at all. None of the positive things are noticed. Yeah, you only focus on the negative. Fourth is you get into something called generalizing. Generalizing is where you use words like never, always, all, no one, none of my friends are supporting me, all my friends have forgotten me, I will never get a job, you know none of these opportunities suit me. So again, that is a thinking error. And the last thinking error is black or white thinking. Black or white thinking is you attended a job. I've attended 4 interviews this year where they said, Sangeet, you're very nice, good, we love to have you, but we want diversity, so we are looking for a white lady. So I said, I'm not a white lady. I can't get the job. So then I start thinking, because one or two things happen, I start thinking, I'm not going to get any job. So this is called black or white thinking. You take one small thing and make it bigger. So these are all thinking errors. While I'm mentioning this to you, I'm sure those of you who are really stressed might be really having these thoughts every day. Now, how do we manage these thoughts? If you had asked me a year back, I would have explained a technique called cognitive behavior therapy, which talks about writing down your thoughts and then searching for evidence for it and against it. But then I realized through my research that's not the right way. It doesn't really work, not just for me, but for others as well. Yeah. All respect to the founders of CBT. Because when you try to logically engage with these thoughts, they don't really work because you're stressed. So let me explain some very cool ways, okay, which are 100% sure to work. When you start getting this thought, the first thing that you need to do is you don't have to get rid of the thought. The thought, like the passenger in the bus who gets in from one stop, will go out after a while. Only thing you need to do is not to engage with that thought. You need to continue driving towards your destination. So when you get that thought and when you nags it, you just tell yourself, please don't fuse with the thought. Don't think that thought is you. So the first thing you can tell yourself is, I notice that I'm thinking. Notice the words. I notice that I'm thinking that I will never get a job. I notice that I'm thinking. You can say it in your native language as well, whatever works for you. I notice that I'm thinking that I'll have to leave UAE. I notice that I'm thinking. So by doing that, subconsciously you're telling yourself, you notice that you're thinking. It is not real, it is a thought that you're having. So get into the habit of, again, this should not be done with the intention of driving that thought away. The moment you do that, the thought holds on. It's okay. Let him be. He's your bodyguard. Let him be. Yeah. You're only trying to distinguish between truth and a thought. The second extremely works well is to say it slowly. For example, I used to always get this thought that I'll have to shift. Right now, I'm living in a nice apartment. Yeah. And I thought if I don't get a job, I'll have to shift to a very dingy kind of place. Yeah. So this was a thought I used to always get. So then I would say it slowly. I will have to vacate my residence. That particular thought that bugs you, just try saying it very slowly. Because when you try to say it very slowly, you automatically recognize that this is just a thought. Just a When your amygdala is active, I told you, if somebody tells you, hey, there's a four-legged animal standing outside your door, you won't think that it's a cat or a mouse. Four-legged animal, tiger. That's why sometimes when you go and Google your physical symptoms, you start hearing words like, the big C and C square and stuff like that. So that thought, say it slowly. I will never get a job. It works magical. I mean, whatever stresses you, whatever thought comes to you regularly, this is what you need to try. The third is, imagine this thought written. For me, I used to always try it. There was a huge billboard at Al Nahda, okay, with McDonald's on it. And I could always see it from my house, Al Nahda Sharjah. I used to imagine this thought written. You have to move from your apartment. This thought is written in neon and stuff. It is written on that signboard. So when I see it, I see that, oh, this is outside me. It is a thought. It is not real. It doesn't have to happen. But still, I'm not trying to kill that thought. I'm just trying to reduce the punch of the thought so that I can live with it. Fourth is, those of you who are creative, try to make it into a song. Okay, so I'm a huge fan of Lucky Ali. I don't know whether you remember him. He's become old now. Yeah. So Lucky Ali had those very melodious songs of those days. Yeah. So I used to always think my thought, my negative thought, that particular song, where his wife is beheaded and all that, that song. Why am I saying negative things? So you try to convert it into lyrics and you say it, and you find the punch stopping. Finally, finally, guys, be with me when I say this. It's a very soulful exercise. Okay. I hope I have time. Sister Shikha. Okay, it's already 8:05. Yeah. Okay. 2 more minutes only. Oh my God. Okay, okay, okay. But we started late, right? Be nice with me. Yeah. Okay. So I would say uh, this is a very very soulful activity where what you need to do is sit in a comfortable place and start thinking that worrisome thought, and it'll come and hit you. Tuck. Okay. The moment it comes and hits you in your mind, give a small shape to that thought. Just imagine what could be the shape of this thought. For me, I used to always think of a very prickly fruit. Very prickly fruit. It used to come to me. Then ask yourself, what is the color of this thought? Okay. Whatever answer comes to your mind, it's okay. What is the shape? What is the color? What is the size of this thought? What is the speed of this thought if it is moving? So automatically you'll start getting an answer. And when you see that shape, that size of that very nagging thought, imagine that thing in front of you. For me, I used to sit on the sofa and imagine it there was a divan on the other side. So this particular thing, this prickly fruit, would be on the divan. And then you ask it, what do you want? And you'll be surprised when you hear the answer. Automatically, your mind itself will come up with an answer. The answer would be, I want you to get a job. I want you to be happy. I want you to be protected. I want everybody to respect you. Now, this is your stress telling you, yeah? The moment it tells you, it's a very, very, very touching experience. Then look at it. It's your stress, it's your worry, it's your anxiety. Look at it. If you don't have it, who else will have it? It'll be an orphan with no place to go. So you just tell him, thank you. I love you. Thank you. I know what you're doing for me. And I want you back within me. And imagine that this particular thing with a shape and a size is put back within you. This is a great way for you to reconcile with your stressful thoughts. Because at the end of the day, the objective of that stressful thought is to make sure that you get what you want and to protect you. Okay. Sheikha has said 2 minutes. I would like to encroach and go probably use few more minutes. And guys, quickly give up some techniques. I hope you can see the screen. I wanted to share a video with you, but since we don't have time, this video is from this lady called Amy Cuddy. You can go to YouTube and search for it. She has done extensive research on how your body postures can lead to stress and how you can de-stress yourself using your body with only 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes in the evening. It's called a high power pose. So you can see the high power pose, right? It could either be the Superman pose or the Wonder Woman pose, or you stand up, legs apart, with your hands held high, with your face, with your head tilted up. Don't do this in public. You could do this in the washroom or in a bedroom. Just 2 minutes, and you can see the research. If you don't trust me, just standing for 2 minutes like that, and if you take your blood, draw your blood and do a test, your testosterone level will be high and your cortisol level will be low, because the body thinks, the body is going to think, this Sangeet, is he crazy? Why is he standing like this? If he is stressed, do you think he will stand like this? No. Do you think any stress guy would normally stand like this? No. So when you do that, the reverse feedback works in your body. Oh, he's standing like this, so he's not stressed. And automatically your cortisol level goes down, your heartbeat goes down, and your head starts clearing. Okay, so try it. The second thing that I would strongly suggest is, whenever you are stressed, notice how you breathe. You breathe like this. Imagine you're scared of something, or something chases you. Your breath is normally a long breath inward. You don't stop, you don't pause, and a short outward breath. So it's like, so biofeedback works by reversing this. What do? You take a breath inside, hold it for a few seconds, and then take a long breath out. So it's called 478. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for 7 seconds, and then take a deep breath out. You do this for a minute or two, automatically your head clears and the stress reduces. The whole objective is to get you to focus on what you have to do. I wanted to get into 2 or 3 more techniques, but we don't have time. So I would stop on again by saying, guys, what matters is what you do. What you do tomorrow, the number of ads you look at, the number of placement company websites that you visit, the number of contacts that you make, and every time something stops you from doing that, understand that the stress, though it wants you to do well, is acting like that bodyguard which is stopping you from doing. So you need to say, Habibi, I love you, thank you, and then start doing what you want to do. Yeah. So all the best. Do really, really well. You'll have a power pack session coming next. Okay. I'll leave it to Sister Shekha to introduce Seema. But guys, have a wonderful year ahead. Keep doing what you're doing, and you'll definitely get a great job. And please be a part of Togetherness. We have shared the link already in the chat box. Be with us and continue to add value to each other. Yeah. Thank you, Sister Shekha. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Sangeet. I have been to a couple of stress management sessions before, and I have learned in my classes, but I haven't had anyone explaining it with such a big smile and making it so light. So I think watching you was making us feel less stressful. And I can vouch and tell when you explained phases of being stressed, I have touched those notches. I've been there. So thank you very much. And I think it was the beautiful language that you used. Everybody could understand and connect. So thank you very much. And we are moving on to our next speaker. Dr. Seema Lal. We have a long journey. We started working together years ago when I started my career. So since then, after a long break, I'm seeing Seema in a very beautiful form. And she's a consultant, she's a trainer, she's a co-founder of Together We Can, and she works with wonderful projects on reaching out to people. And if you watch Seema on LinkedIn, Seema posts about what is happening and what you need to be touching upon for mental health in general. And she focuses on children specifically, but also posts on how adults needs to focus on things. So she's pursuing your PhD. All the best, Seema, for that.
Thank you.
And I invite you to take on the stage.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shaika. And after the energy with what Sangeet said, I think puts the threshold high on me that, oh my God, now I have to live up to that. Anyway, so let me give it a try. And I'm going to time myself here because I have the same problem of getting overexcited and overshooting. So I said
I'm
that.
timing you, Seema. I'm timing
Oh,
you.
great. It's 15 minutes, right?
20. You have
20
20 minutes.
Okay, fine. Okay, great. All right. So I don't know if I'm getting the gallery view here. So I had this wonderful arrangement here with these letters. I don't even know if everybody can see it. Can anybody see it? Shaika, can you read what it is?
Resilience.
Resilience. Oh, great. Okay, so people can see because I just can see. If people might think that I was just playing Scrabble with my children and I've arranged it here. No, this was very strategically planned because that is the word which I'm going to use. So, like Shaika mentioned, it was a long journey with her, and yes, now I am working as a mental health consultant, but. This was a new shift in 2020, and I really ended up practicing resilience, which I was preaching for 20 years finally. Because, like Sangeet said, only when it comes very close to you, suddenly you take all the books that you learn. Well, hurry, nothing is working, so you have to quickly find new ways to cope. So it really happened with me as well, wherein I had to leave my job they didn't technically ask me to leave, but they made it, so difficult that I thought it was better to leave. So what I'll do is I'll go through this word resilience with each of the letter representing how we can deal with ourselves. And like what Sangeet ji has already said about stress is definitely not something that we need to manage, but we need to manage ourselves. So we'll see how the R goes. The R is about relationships. And when I mean relationships, for me, I had a beautiful relationship with the previous workplace. I totally loved everybody. And the minute I left, and when things got very, very different over there, the working style shifts, everything moved online. It was a school which I did not agree to. So suddenly I was on this R for revenge mode. I hated everybody there. I was fully revengeful. How can they do this? How is it that possible? Such a stable thing. They cannot do this. So full of R for revenge was happening for me because the shift happened. The first thing was to know that nobody was actually plotting this against you. The pandemic and the lockdown was not against us. It just happened and we just couldn't do anything, and each one finds their own way of coping. So first was for me to help that which are the relationship that I need to focus on now, and which are the relationship I should just get out of my mind and not try to resolve and things, because I didn't have the energy to convince that. So the first thing was investing in the right relationship. So the R is relationship matter. When you're looking for job and dealing with yourself, networking is huge. You need to know the right people and you have to maintain a relationship with them, whether it's professional or personal. Make yourself be heard and be seen, so that everybody knows that this person is there and maybe we can reach out to them. So first thing is R for relationship, and R is also for making it a routine. When I say relationship, it also depends on who you are living with. If it is your family, in your extreme stress, be watchful that are you taking it out on your family, especially if you have children. Are you taking out your stress on your children? Watch out for how you have to deal with each relationship preciously, because they are the ones your support system. We are human beings and we need these connections. So relationship really matter. Make it a routine to connect with people either virtually or in reality, and be in touch with reality. I did lose touch with reality for a bit, saying, no, this is just probably a horrible dream. This is not happening. We're going to come out of it. But nothing happened, and wonderfully so, next year we're faced with a new challenge. So this is like here to stay. So the earlier we accept the reality, the better for us. Invest in relationship and know the resources. What are your resources? I would say human resources, the greatest resource, the connections that you have, the contacts that you have, whether it's your previous employer, your friends, your family. Put it out there, connect with everybody. But in this process, remember the 3 R's, other 3 R's, which is rest, learn to relax, and also refresh each day, because otherwise you're not going to have time. You will move to the next in the resilience word, which is the E. The E is you will be overwhelmed with emotions. E for emotions. And Sangeet ji just explained so beautifully how emotions definitely are needed. Anxiety is wonderful, sadness is wonderful, fear is, everything is great. But like we say, too much can not be very healthy either. So I would say there is no emotion which is unhealthy, but you should notice when it is becoming unhealthy for you. And one of the biggest reason why it becomes unhealthy is because you try to escape from these emotions without facing them. You have to face them. You might have to talk about it. If whether writing helps, for me writing really helps. So I was writing, and I think I overdid it also at some point, but it actually helped me. I don't know what the others thought about it, but it really worked for me. I used to talk a lot to the right people again. Remember the first star. So talk about your emotions, whether it is anxiety or sadness or whatever that is you're feeling. Talk about it, express your emotions, do not try to escape from it. Find the right people and express it. It could be in the form of art, it could be in the form of cooking, or whatever that works for you. Emotions need to be expressed, do not suppress it. So that's the E of being resilient. The next is the S. S is being solution focused and start. We have to start doing something, and instead of sitting and thinking that blaming people, I did that, blaming, why did this happen? This happened because we did that, because we did this. So I was in a phase where I hated the entire human race. It was so bad, that initial phase, like the we brought it upon, this is horrible. It was you I was thinking too much, and once I started writing, connecting with the right people, dealing with my emotion, then only the solutions came forward, that okay, let us start by doing something. And starting needn't mean super fast, in a haste, because when you're driven by emotion, sometimes S can be speed. Speed is not necessary, slow down. I think what helped was slowing down. Slowing down not only your thoughts, your feelings and actions, and getting stock of, okay, how do we really move forward? Okay, now let me, what is it that the next one thing, what is it that specifically I have to do next? S is also for being very specific. You could have a wide thing, of course, getting a job is the larger goal, but there are several tiny goals to finally get there, whether it's writing the CV or putting the CV out, asking other people. There are many steps. The overall goal, of course, is finding a right job for you, but break down the step. Now, for each of us, what job we want is different. So we will have to go from the larger solution of finding the job to S for specific steps also. And it's okay to be silent sometimes. There will be days where nothing happens, you do so much work and nothing at all happens. It's okay, be perfectly fine with the silent time. It's okay to slow down. And if it's not really working for you, you're feeling way overwhelmed, you don't have the right relationship, emotions not getting control, solutions not getting, then yes is also for seek help. Okay. And the next thing is, that is the S. The next thing is the I is have an insight. Now, if you need to do all this, what I mean by insight is, each of us are so different, isn't it? So what works for me need not work for the other person. So we have lots of wonderful techniques and strategies, but if it doesn't work for you, you need to understand that, okay, it's not going to work for me. And how long are you going to wait to see if a technique is one working or not? From a mental health perspective, I would say 2 weeks. Give yourself 2 weeks. You're trying some strategies, whether it's breathing or whatever else, and you're just not moving forward. Maybe there is something wrong, not with you, but with the methodology, and you might have to seek help and get an insight on what works with me. Because our circumstances are difficult. Some of us have loans, some of us have children who need to pay the fees, some of us have elderly parents to take care of, some of us have other health issues. So it is very individualized. So I is also for individualized. So what works for another person, you don't have to be pushed to go try the same thing. See, why did it work for that person? Will it have an insight? Is the same technique going to work for me? You know your family and your circumstance better. So it has to be an individual plan that you make for yourself. That's the I. And the next is the L, which is something which all of us need to know, which is called the psychological first aid. And L is for look, listen, and link. We need to look, of course. Look for what? Look within or look around in other people to notice signs of anxiety, depression, or a slip in mental health. How do you notice that in yourself and others around? See if your sleep is affected, see if your appetite is affected, your just energy levels are affected, and you are going on a downward slip. You, whatever interests you earlier is not interesting you now. This is not only for yourself. Please watch out if it's happening to anybody around you. And this is going on for some time. Again, I would say 2 weeks. In the 2 weeks, what you need to do is listen. The next L is just listen to them. Go ask. And if it's with you, you will have to talk and get somebody who will just listen. No solution, no advice, no philosophy, nothing. Just listen to whatever they have to say, whether it's right or wrong. Because for emotions, there is no right or wrong. There is no logic when it comes to emotion. Why am I angry? I am angry. So nobody can say you don't be angry. It's not right, it's wrong. There is no right or wrong for emotion. So get somebody to just listen, listen, listen. But how long will you sit and listen? Again, I would say 2 weeks. Psychological first aid says give it 2 weeks time, either for yourself or for the other person around you. You notice this huge slip, and then the next L is link with a mental health professional. Like Sangeet ji already said, that the group will connect you to wherever you are residing, to the right people. And please link with the mental health professional or whichever other professional, and positively, absolutely seek help. Don't let it pass more than 2 weeks. And the next I is initiate action. You will have to take the change. Opportunity is not going to come to you. We say no, opportunity knocks once, opportunity might not knock at all. You will have to leave the door open and say please come inside. You will have to go and grab it and probably bring it. So you have to have initiative. You cannot, sometimes, especially for those of us who are older and who were probably holding higher positions in workplace, it might feel like below our ego to go and ask for job. Like, yeah, everybody will know we lost the job, so we hush it up. That is not going to work. You have to take the initiative and go connect and change and invite people and say, this is what I'm going to look for. Take the initiative, take the action. So the I and interact. I is also for interact with whoever you feel will give you a lead. Interact, that action has to come from you. We cannot sit and wait for it to come to us. The next E in the resilience is we have to do this every day. This is the thing. We have to sustain this energy like almost every day. And what gives us energy? Generally, for the body and the mind, the basic thing is what we eat. E is also, please be watchful about what we eat. During the lockdown, initially, all of us went into a wonderful celebration season of experimenting, cooking, and recipes and everything. We all put on like 10 to 20 kilos, and then we started exercising. All that holiday season and celebration is over. Now we really have to watch out, because what goes inside makes a difference. It is your gut is seen as your other nervous system. There is a huge connection between your gut and how your neurology works. So please be watchful about what you're eating. Especially too much of sugar, all this can give you too much energy and you don't know where to spend this energy. E is also for energy. Emotions are also a type of energy. So there is too much energy in you. The more energy, you don't know where to spend it. So what is the other E you need to do is exercise. Please bring exercise into your daily routine. And exercise, when I say, again, it has to be individualized. What works for me might not work for you. I bought this watch and I was walking, can you believe it, I was walking 20,000 steps, which is 12 kilometers inside my house, just around the sofa around. I was like a mad person walking up and down, because if I didn't do that exercise, I was not able to think clearly. So 1 month I took it up as a challenge and I went on that. Physical movement really helps. We need to keep that energy out so that we can think clearly. That's the E. And the next one is the the another E is also for engagement. Engage with who? Like we said earlier, when you initiate and engage meaningfully. Just because we say that connect with people, I saw in the first video, that doesn't mean you send good morning, good afternoon, good night wishes. That's not engagement. Engage meaningfully. Engage with the right people, exactly what you want, and be specific. So that doesn't mean that we are on Facebook or LinkedIn and only sitting and liking and sharing. When you are in a group, make sure that you are engaging meaningfully, not just saying things which are just random and not making an impact there. So watch out for your engagement also, and do that every day. The N is for knowing when to say no. We could sometime reach a stage of desperation. Oh my God, there is no job. It's 6 months. So anything that comes our way, we might have a tendency to say, yes, okay, let it be. Think before we suddenly jump at whatever option comes in front of us. That is a mistake many of my friends have made, and they've had to come out of it, and it was a little bit of messy. So really know how to negotiate also. So do not put across, when I say put across the invitation and put it across that yes, I need a job, but let it not be a desperate attempt that anybody and everybody comes and asks you to do anything without valuing what you really have. Unless, of course, again, depending on your circumstance, we, of course, we need the money. But how much are you willing to negotiate on what exactly you want? Be clear about it yourself. If you are not clear of how much you will not negotiate, then you will, other person will make you and influence you and make you say things or do things which you really don't want to do, and later you will regret and you will not know how to get out of it. So always remember, is this what I really need? And is also for, is this job that I need, or I just want a job? Be very clear when you negotiate with your future employers. Something is a no, something is not now, something is a never. Know all the ends or the no's. The C of resilience is, of course, communication. We need to have clarity on what exactly we want. I had a couple of students, young people, come and apply, madam, do we have a job there? Because when I left the job and I started on my own, first it was a friend's firm, but now after it's already first 2 months it went well. So then I was confident and I took it on my own. So now it's my own firm. So then I could hire, and then, but the people who came were, give us any job. They were not clear, like, well, what job, what is it that you want? So be very clear about, is there any opening, can we have any job? So no, when they, of course I understand they're desperate, but be very clear to the future employers, what sort of job are you looking for? Have you studied the employers profile also? Do you know where you're applying the job? Do you know what all job openings are probably there? Or do you even know what work they do? Because I am with Together We Can, and we had employees coming and asking. We work with children with autism and mental health disability and education, and we had somebody coming and asking for a completely different field where we were not working, which means that person didn't even click on our Facebook page, or anyway did not do any research on what we are about. So naturally it's like I wouldn't even recommend that CV to another person. So please have clarity when you communicate to your future employers or whoever else, because that will make a difference. And every connection that you build is important, and keep those connections real. Don't connect with people just for the sake of connecting. That also will put your future employers, and if they have asked you, wait, I'll get back to you, give some time before you connect again. I was the once when we started hiring, there was message saying, is there an opening, is there an opening? So when there are too many messages on my WhatsApp also, sometimes it puts you off as an employee. Maybe we were working on it, so not too pushy. It's the right balance of how much to connect with your employer. And the last one, Shaika, last E I have reached. The last E is the energy. How much energy you bring each day. Like Sangeet is my role model there. Every time I see his Facebook post when I'm low, I will make sure I actually type and go there and listen to one. He says this hello and good evening, and I'm like, okay, fine, okay, the energy is back. But I think you need to actually interact with and watch particularly such videos where the energy is so positive and it makes you feel like, okay, it's possible. That's so important. And if you know somebody like that, follow those people. I follow that, and that gives a lot of positive energy, and this has to happen daily. So now all this I know I did without a PPT, but a quick summary, a 1 minute video to compile all this is there. Sangeet ji, will you be
Can I
able
play it?
to?
Yeah, I'll play it.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
just
yeah. It's like a quick summary of all the things that I said. Yeah.
give me a second.
Yeah. So that's it for resilience, and that's the video. And I wish you all a wonderful year ahead. That's it. So thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity, Sangeet ji, Shekha, and wish you all a happy new year. Yeah, that's it from me.
All right. So everybody, participants, do you have any questions? I've been looking at the chat box. There have been no questions so far. I know you have all been so engaged with the sessions. So if you have any questions to both our speakers or to Togetherness, please come up with them. And we are here. We'll spend another 5 minutes or so to respond to that. So if you have any questions, please either raise your hands or let
Uh,
us know.
Shekhar, someone has asked for Seemaji's LinkedIn
Yeah.
URL.
Mm. Yeah, I'll share that here. Or Seema can share it. I think she's sharing already.
You're on mute, Seemaji.
Yeah, I don't know how do I. Let me just see if I know how to share it here. Yeah,
No,
No, I
I'll.
can. It's okay.
Yeah,
Either one of
can
us
you
can
can
share.
you share?
Yeah.
Yeah. That will be
But in
really
the
great.
meantime,
Thank
is
you.
anyone having any questions or anything? Right. So I have again shared.
Excuse me.
Yes, Ismail.
Yeah. Ismail, I'm from Sharjah.
Okay.
Just one question to either Sangeetji or Sivaji. See, the current situation is like we can expect anything anytime. Okay. So this is a thought came to my mind today, like whether we should expect it that anything may come to me. Yeah. Question finished.
Seemaji, why don't you?
Yeah. Ismailji, yes, you're right, and we are all in the same boat. And I think I don't know if you've heard about this hoping for the best and preparing for the worst. In the sense, we all hope that things are going to get better and it will be fine, but that doesn't mean we don't prepare ourselves. We can't prepare ourselves for everything, so it's perfectly fine to expect the worst. But if that is engulfing your day, if that is overruling, if it's affecting our functioning, then there is a problem. Then we need to work on it. Otherwise, it's perfectly fine. Like Sangeetji said, if we are stressed about, oh my God, what's going to happen? That stress is not our enemy. Is it coming in our way of moving forward? If this expectation of, oh my God, is it going to be terrible? We don't know. So being able to deal with uncertainty, being able to deal with what we cannot predict, that can give you stress. And that is what we need to know how to, like all the techniques. I'm sure Sangeetji, you will share those links which you probably could not use as well. So I think that is the simple answer. But I'm sure Sangeetji, if you would like to add on.
I'm fully aligned with what Seemaji said. Even if you talk about illnesses and you say X percentage of men get this particular illness some stage in their lives, yeah, or X percentage of women. Are we going to think, oh my God, I'm going to get that? Yeah, we could get that. Yeah, and once we get that, we'll probably have to deal with it effectively. So these kind of thoughts can come, but if you try to resist it as well, I think that would be the message.
Is it not like a negative thought?
See, I frankly don't think there's anything called as a positive thought or a negative thought. What if it comes? You never know. So the
Correct,
question
correct.
is,
But then from everywhere we are listening, be positive, think positive. Okay, then at this time we think ourselves like, okay, we are in a job now, but ourselves we are thinking, I may lose it, I may lose it, I may lose it. Will that not creating a negativity in my mind?
I would request you, Brother Ismail, to consider these thoughts as clouds in the sky. Yeah. So you have a cloud coming in, the wind brings it right over you, and then it moves on. Don't engage too much with the thought. When you get a negative thought, okay, the economy is bad, people can lose jobs. Next question you can ask yourself is, what is the positive action that I can take? Your mind is cautious because your mind wants to protect it. That's the reason you're saying, oh, I might lose my job. So have I kept my CV in order? Have I maintained good relationships with people? Tomorrow, if I lose my job, have I kept enough savings with me? So that doesn't mean, like how all of us started hoarding, overstocking on stuff, when we heard about the lockdown. Do not go to that extreme. What would be a logical, reasonable thing to do in case this happens. Yeah, and then move on. Just focus on the action to be done, but then don't over engage with the thought. Then you might move from concern. You remember those 3 stages we mentioned? It is absolutely okay to be concerned about losing your job now. If you're not concerned about losing a job, you're moved away from what Simaji said, the hour of reality. You have to be in tune with reality. But then, I mean, look at the resources around you. In case you lose jobs, you have your friends, you have your contacts, you have your credentials, and follow those resilient steps. But don't get over obsessed with it and worry. And can I share something very personal? Sorry for bringing faith in. Guys, 45 years of wisdom, what I've realized is life is like building a house of cards. Yeah. If you don't follow the rules, the house of cards will fall down 100%. But even if you follow the rules, sometimes a stray gust of wind could come in and your whole house of cards could fall down. Yeah. So this is where your faith really matters. At the end, results are from probably a higher being, whatever you call it, or you may call it nature. For us, it's just about doing the right things and leave the results to that higher being. This is what I honestly believe.
Yeah. Thank you, Simaji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sangeet and Dr. Seema, and thank you, Ismail, for bringing this up.
Yeah.
Is there any other question? Okay, so if we don't have any questions, I think we'll be sharing the video and both your content on Togetherness in Telegram. Is that possible, Dr. Seema? I mean, Seema and Sangeeta?
Simaji,
Yeah,
you're okay with that, right?
yeah,
You're okay with it.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So if people have not seen them, they can go back and review it in Telegram. We'll be posting it there. And I would like to thank Dr. Sangeet and Seema for bringing this up. We do call it the need of the hour, but I think it's something that you can keep together with you for a very long time, and I think throughout your life, because now we have one particular thing that is new to our generation or probably generations that we've been with. This is a new phase. We have hit different phases in each of our lives at different times, but this is the first time everyone is in the same phase. How learned you are, or how well you are, in your profession or personal life, sudden change has come, and change is not easy to manage. So like we say, this is something that we're learning together, and thank you so much for beautifully explaining how to manage it whenever we reach that point, and how to keep an eye on whether you are, like you said, in concerned phase, or are you moving into anxiety and depression, and how to look around for others as well around you, your people that you love, people that you know. If things have been changing in their behavior, please come and talk to them. So I would like to thank everybody who've been here, all the participants who have registered and showed up. Thank you so much. Again, I'm telling you, please, even if you are not a job seeker, please connect with us in Togetherness to support others. And also probably that's where you get to know how to find other things for your own personal, your professional life as well. So if you are a person who are an expert in something, like in your own area, let us know, and then we can, you can be a part of these kind of workshops where we can help others how to do things. You could be an IT expert. If your expertise is going to reach out to people and help them, let's do that. If you're a financial expert telling how to manage your finances, let's do that. So let's not think that only HR or mental health related workshops will be happening. We need to give information to people with togetherness, people who are looking out for jobs, and as a wholesome. Let's think about it in an overall thing. So let us reach out to us. Tell us if you are an expert in something, and we can bring you on board as a speaker. So thank you, everybody. I know it's almost 8:45. Yeah, 8:46 already. So thank you for everybody who's been here. We've had a consistent audience for the past 1 hour and more. It's just 2 more days for this year to end. We were not prepared for what we got, but at least we know something is coming, and we are more, I think, equipped how to manage it. So like we said, look, um, learn, and then listen and link. That's what you said, Seema, right?
Yeah.
The psychological first aid. Let's do that. Let's look around. Let's also listen to people. Let's listen to our own thoughts within, and let's link each other. So thank you, everyone, and wishing everyone a happy new year. And I hope happiness has changed its term and meaning recently. So let's all reach our level of happiness in the new year. And good night.
Thank you,
Thank
Shekhar.
you.
Thank you, Seema. Thanks everyone.
Thank
Good night. Take care.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.